I'm legally insane. Last night, I went downtown. You already know I picked me up some PS2 games for cheap. Got them all from your mother. Downtown, everybody knows where to find her. Back of the 7-Eleven, right behind the dumpster. She works hard. Your mother is a hard-working lady. She down there every night. Get all my games for cheap because I've been going hard on the PS2, guys. You have no idea how hard I've been going. It's a console that I previously ignored, but let me show you what I got. I got a whole stack of these games. Like you wouldn't believe. Giant stack of games. And this is like not even scratching the surface of what I really got. I can only fit so many games into one video. I got a whole shelf full of these PS2 games. Now, this was a console that I didn't previously collect for, and I originally never even intended to collect for the PS2. I never even intended to do it because I didn't have the console growing up, and I didn't even get to play it growing up. Like I didn't even have like I'm sure I had some friends that had it, but I didn't go over to their homes to play it. I had an Xbox. My friend had an Xbox, and another friend had a GameCube, and we made fun of that guy. GameCube wasn't popular back then. You got to understand, times were different back then. The GameCube was the black sheep of the consoles for a time. It's the king of that era now, but at the time it was a bit of a joke. It was almost like the Sega Saturn, right? I knew a kid that had a Sega Saturn. We made fun of that kid. I felt bad for him. He kept trying to invite us over to play at his house. Come play Panzer Dragoon. I'm telling you guys, there's good games on this console. We didn't believe him. Other than Panzer Dragoon, okay, we knew that game would be good. We were a little bit jealous of that one, but everything else, we knew everything else sucked. So I've been going hard on the PS2 because it's quickly becoming the most collectible console. It is likely, I hate to say it, but it's probably going to exceed the NES. It just may. It just may, given enough time. We'll see what happens in the future. But it's going to outlive the NES at least because it's, many generations ahead. You got to understand there's 114 million of these PS2 consoles sold and versus like 30 plus million NES consoles. So I got a whole bunch of hidden gems, really interesting games. I'm going to show you what I got, what I paid for each of these games, why you might also be interested in picking up some of these games. That's part of my purpose here is to introduce you to some new games that you might also be interested in. Okay, we're going to start off strong with a really interesting game. I would be very curious to know if anybody out there heard of this game. It had a large budget, but more importantly, if you did hear of it, did you actually play it? I want to know how many people actually bought this game. Because I had never heard of it. Mind you, I'm not a PS2 guy. I didn't grow up playing or browsing the games back then for this console. But here it is, Primal. It came up in auction. I'd never seen it before, never heard of it. I took a chance on it. I took a gamble, not knowing anything. I just bid. And I got it for cheap. I paid 4 Canadian dollars.
Woo!
But the point is, I didn't know what it was. It looked like a fighting game. Even looking at the back cover art, like if you just look at the pictures in general, it still looks like a fighting game. And I didn't check out reviews at the time when I bid. I didn't look up nothing. I just bid $4. I said I never seen that before. I'm gonna take a chance on it. It looks cool. I'm gonna take a chance. I bid $4. I won the auction. Not CIB though, and I regret that now because I think this is an underrated hidden gem. And we're gonna talk about that. Let's get the chart out of the way here. Chart hasn't done too much. Price charts for 1646 Canadian CIB. Remember, mine is case and manual. Loose $10. I paid $4. Steal of a deal, regardless of a manual or not. Worth the price, okay? Chart-wise hasn't done much, but that being said, there is a clear uptrend. It's just the world's slowest uptrend. I think it's a common game. Had a very large budget, like $9 million budget. first party Sony developed and published game. Okay, they thought this was going to be a monster hit. They tried to turn this into something and something good. It is an action adventure game released in 2003, best described as ambitious but flawed. This is reviewers and critics at the time. Ambitious but flawed, and received very negative to very mixed reviews by said critics. The general consensus is that the game had great, high production value, good graphics, great story, good voice acting. The game is heavily praised for having a story and atmosphere. Great game. Graphics, everything, but then it falls short when it comes to the gameplay. A lot of combat and puzzles. That's what you're doing. It's an action game with a lot of puzzles. You're traveling throughout these worlds. You have an AI companion with you, and you can switch between the two characters. A lot of great concepts. But it has, apparently, this is what the critics say at the time, terrible control, puzzles weren't great, and clunky controls. But otherwise, everything else was great. I want to read you a partial review from Game Informer. So this guy named Matt Helgeson says that Primal is a visual masterpiece. The texturing and lighting effects are some of the best that you'll see on the PS2. I'm paraphrasing here. However, he then goes on to note that Primal is a technical marvel, but like so many games, falls short in design and gameplay. So the consistent theme is that the game had a great story, great voice actors, great cutscenes, beautiful graphics, but then fell short everywhere else. Now, gameplay wise, the main gimmick of the game is that you can transform into these creatures from these other worlds. You get four main creatures that you can transform into. Some of them are pretty basic. Uh, like one of them allows you to swim underwater and breathe underwater type of thing. But then the secondary gimmick is that you can switch between your little AI helper companion, which is essentially like a mini gargoyle. And you mostly do that just to solve puzzles and interact with various objects. It's it's just a game that I never hear anybody talk about. I thought it was a fighting game. So I'm very happy to give this one a go. And maybe most of you know about this game, and everyone out there saying this game sucks. Well, I never heard of it, so I'm very excited to try it. And I want to show you one other thing. These are reviews from GameFAQ, one of my favorite sites to go. A lot of them are old. These are like '03. A lot of them are from '03, '05. But you'll see very positive reviews here. Look at all these nines, eights, nine. Okay, some of them are low, 5. What is that, 5? I'm going to take my shades off. Yeah, an excellent idea, yet executed poorly. So he agrees with the critics, and maybe it was. But a lot of other people don't agree, or they look past the flaws. Probably that's what's happened here. Probably these other people, yeah, like, look at this. Great at first, but unfortunately the game has a lot of annoying flaws. But he still gave it an 8. Probably carried entirely by the story and the atmosphere. This guy gave it a 3. So much potential, but ultimately sorely disappointing. Dang, 2006. 9 out of 10, definition of a mature game. The one that I really like, though, I like this review right here. Because I mostly play sleeper hits. And this game is the best sleeper hit on the PS2. So this obviously didn't sell all that great. Because it was a, quote, sleeper. Somebody from back in the day who lived when this game came out. Who was there in the trenches. He is telling you that this was not a game that too many people knew about, not a game that very many people had, not a game that you heard talked about on the playground. And I also like to play sleeper hits. If you follow me on this channel, I love sleeper hits. I'm looking for hidden gems, man. I'm looking for unique stuff. I don't want the Marios. I never even talk about Mario. There's a reason for that. I don't care about Mario. He makes a good comment here. He says, when Primal was first announced, I remember placing it in the games worth checking out category. Then all that came crashing down once I saw its commercial on TV. Freaking marketing campaign screwed up right from the get-go. The commercial in North America was extremely misleading because it gave the impression that Primal was a 3D fighter game such as Soul Calibur, Tekken, or Virtual Fighter. And guess what? Box, when I looked at this box, the box art and the back, like just looking at the pictures, not reading anything, I thought the same damn thing. I'm going to go on to quote some of the better parts here. He talks about how he picked it up in the bargain bins. And he says, I mean, friggin' bargain bins in the game came out in '03 and it's already in the bargain bin. I mean, what does that tell you about popularity? Let me say that Primal could probably be summarized as being one of the best, if not the best, sleeper hits for the PS2. Yes, even better than Beyond Good and Evil. And I've played a lot of sleeper hits. In fact, when buying games at a store, I actively search for sleeper hits, the obscure titles that for whatever reason nobody bought, but that are in every way just as good, if not better, than the more successful, widely recognized title. This guy sounds like me, but I didn't write this. I will begin by saying that Primal's not a fighting game. Whoever they hired for making that commercial and selecting those pictures, the back of the case, really screwed up. I thought the same dang thing. Primal would be, as an adventure game, somewhat like Tomb Raider, but back when Tomb Raider was actually good. Yeah, I agree with that. There was a time when Tomb Raider was good. And he gives it a 10 out of 10 on graphics, 8 out of 10 on gameplay, 10 out of 10 on audio. Wow. Load times, yeah, even the load times 9 out of 10. Control 7 out of 10. Overall 9.5. It's not the best on the game on the PS2, but it is definitely a very, very good game. I thought it was interesting, and I'm very excited to try this game, and I'm very curious if anyone else out there played it and what you thought of it. Next up, we got a complete hidden gem that's becoming not so hidden with every month that passes. The price is going to double, guaranteed over the long term. I can already guarantee it. I mean, it's not even a question. It's not even a question. Write this one down, Ghost Rider. Superhero game that was mostly ignored. And you know what? Being a late release title, it's an '07 release. Console-wise, this is an exclusive. It's not on the Xbox, it's not on the GameCube. There's a GBA version and a PSP version. I actually do want to get the GBA version. I got to look that one up. It looks really fun. So it's pretty expensive too, though. What did I pay for this? I wrote this down somewhere. What did I pay for this? Oh, $13. That ain't too bad. It's in good condition. CIB. Good condition. Very fun game. Action hack and slash game, if you're not already aware of this. Previously ignored by the market. Take note, I said previously ignored by the market. Chart looks good here. I paid 13. Price charts for 28.40 Canadian. Let's go ahead and switch over to USD. 20.55 USD. But the kicker is the chart looks beautiful. Low and steady riser, nothing too special, but it's moving. It's moving. Meaning you're not going to get it for any cheaper. The long-term trend is up. The trend is up, and the trend is your friend. This trend ain't going away, buddy. These Marvel games are really hot. A lot of them are moving. Check out the Hulk games. Xbox 360, PS3, look at Captain America. Look at Wolverine. Look at Deadpool. These games ain't cheap. You know, back in the day, the superhero games were worthless. I'm pretty sure even Thor is going up. 360. Green Lantern, I mean, they're all good games. But Ghost Rider was especially ignored, and Ghost Rider isn't the most popular superhero out there. You got to remember that, too. The movie didn't do great. Nicolas Cage. I mean, this was probably written off as a garbage movie title. Like, low effort, complete garbage, like most movie titles were back then. was probably written off. It's a fun hack and slash, and once again, it got negative to mixed reviews. Shockingly. Gameplay wise, though, this is similar to God of War or Devil May Cry, closer to Devil May Cry. You get a whip. We're talking Castlevania style chain. In this case, it's a chain, not a whip. And there's RPG mechanics, which I really like, in that when you kill enemies, you collect their souls and you use that as currency to upgrade your abilities and your stats, or your your stats, like your health, for example. Right? You can upgrade your health, you can upgrade your spirit meter, which is essentially your mana. So we're talking like, feels like an action RPG. It's not an RPG, but it feels like one. And I like my action RPGs. You can upgrade your chain, you can upgrade your hellfire abilities, you can upgrade your motorcycle and your motorcycle abilities. Like, if you upgrade your special attacks, you can get homing missiles on your motorcycle, become an unstoppable motorcycle. Every second level is essentially motorcycle level. So the monotonous gameplay is broken up with these fun road rash style driving racing levels. One of the flaws is that it's a short game, 3 hours. And I look at that and say, that's not a flaw to me. I like short games. But it may be short, but you got to understand, it has replayability. I think they designed it that way. They knew the game was short, so they said, how can we make some replayability here? And they do that by allowing you to unlock all of these new extra features after you beat the game on easy mode, including unlocking a new character, which is Blade. And why wouldn't you want to play as Blade? And he's not a clone of Ghost Rider. He has his own skills and abilities. So you're obviously going to play through the game twice. So you've just doubled the length of the game. I mean, this is a game that could easily double. I mean, it's going to go to 50 Canadian dollars at some point. So that's, an extra over 50% from today's price. But it's not going to go there overnight. I'm just saying, put this one on your radar. It's only a matter of time before some big name YouTuber talks about this being the best superhero game that you never played, and then the price doubles overnight. And then you're going to be wondering why you didn't pay a fairly reasonable price of $28 today. Maybe you can find it at your local games shop for 25, 30 Canadian dollars, or $20 USD. 15 bucks even. Maybe you find it for 15. That's a good deal. You get it for 15, great deal. Maybe you find a mint condition copy, 25? Yeah, sure. Mint condition, look, here's a soul listing right here, 25. Probably good condition. USD, 25 USD right there. $21.99 down here. I mean, $20 is a friggin' fair price, buddy. You're not gonna miss your paying rent from a $20 game. Would you rather pay $3,000 for Earthbound? $3,000 US dollars for complete in-box Earthbound? Is that what you'd rather do? I mean, here's some of the reviews back then. We're talking 6 out of 10 from Edge, Eurogamer 5 out of 10. Man, GamePro gave it a 3.25 out of 5. GameSpot with a low 4 out of 10. IGN 4 out of 10. GameZone 5.5 out of 10. None of these are particularly good. None of them. I mean, GPA, the GPA version got pretty good scores, at least. Yeah, that's the one that I want. And here's some unlockables. All you got to do is beat the game on easy mode for all of them except for one. And I like playing my games on easy mode. They're basically rewarding you for being a complete noob and an old man gamer like myself who likes everything easy because I suck at video games. And plus, I don't have time to put 25 hours into learning how to dodge enemies like I got to do in Dark Souls, okay? I don't have time to be rolling around for 25 hours doing somersaults. I ain't got time for that. It sounds like it might be fun. Sure, I'm sure it's a heck of a lot of fun. I would have killed to play that 25 years ago. I ain't got the time for it. I just want to beat the game on easy mode. Where's Blade? And then I want to unlock Blade. That's all I want to do. And then I want to beat the game with Blade. Is that so hard? pretty mixed reviews too, which is rather interesting. These are like back in the day reviews. I like to see how people thought back in the day. Here's a guy who gave it a 3. Classic. Game meets movie license fodder. Oh, buddy, it ain't that bad. 2008 review. Come on, man. Well, look at this. Uh, 8 out of 10. Did I accidentally put in God of War? He's comparing it to God of War. There you go. What did I say earlier? Ooh, first of all, this game is a ripoff of God of War and Devil May Cry. What did I say earlier? The combat system is exactly the same. That's funny. Oh, there you go. That's how you know it's good. Replay value, 9 out of 10. What did I say earlier? Like, I'm reading this for the first time. Replay value is very high because once you beat it, you unlock new characters and cheats to use to play the game again. I'm telling you right now, do not sleep on Ghost Rider. Very cool game. All right, next up, we got Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, don't you already have that game? I mean, everybody's got Grand Theft Auto. Well, you might think that, but you'd be wrong. A lot of people don't have it. A lot of people sold their collections back in the day. They either grew up with these Grand Theft Auto games. There's a lot of them on the PS2. They either grew up with them and now they're reaccumulating them after selling them previously, or they always wanted to play them back in the day and never got the opportunity. And these Grand Theft Auto games on the PS2, they sell like hotcakes. You have no idea. Even disc only. It's so easy to sell. They sell very frequently, and they're worth a lot of money. I paid $5 for this. It's CIB, but it's actually missing the map. And I kind of, it's not the best condition actually, but for $5 Canadian, when it price charts for 1831 Canadian, $5 ain't bad even without having the map. I'll survive without the map, I guess. I do want to play this game. I am one of those people that is now going in and collecting the OG Grand Theft Auto games. I don't want that trilogy remaster that they did. I haven't even played it. I just heard it sucked. And it just doesn't really do it for me. In fact, I was talking to somebody about this in the comments section. P20, if I'm saying your name right. Shout out to P20. We were actually discussing this very topic. That the reason why these PS2 games are going up in value, did you see the chart? I forgot to even mention it, but I put it up on the screen. Have you looked at that? You know what that is? That's a straight line up. Slow and steady. It's just going up. That's just what it's doing. And it's been doing it for years. And it will continue to do it. There's no end in sight. Meaning if if you're interested in a game like this, it's probably going to be cheaper to buy it today than it is to buy it tomorrow. By tomorrow, I mean, say, a year from today, or 2 years from today, or 3 years from today. Maybe the guy back in, what is this, 2018 that could have got it for $4.58. He's thinking, I kind of wish I paid $4.58 because now today I'm paying $13.25. Right? I'm paying $13.25 now. Maybe you go to the pawn shop, it's $15. They slap a premium sticker on it because they know somebody's going to pay it. Are you getting the map with it, or are you not getting the map with it? $13.95 with the map right here. Did that include shipping? Did that not include shipping? $16.50 US dollars down here. $17.99 down here. Are you getting Black Label, or are you getting Greatest Hits label? Came with the map, probably. You could have paid $4.58 not that long ago. $19.90. Oh, dang, look at all these ones. $29.95. Oh, wow. That's a little pricey. I wouldn't recommend paying that, but I mean, that must have been really good condition. Or the guy was an idiot. Black Label, 19. Oh, dang, man, this thing's wild swings, but yeah, condition and shipping are going to play a factor. Wild swings in price. So the point is, I'm one of the people that is actually still buying Grand Theft Auto in 2025. And I never got the opportunity to play these games. You got to understand, I never played these back in the day. These are new to me. This is a new game to me. This is like a new release. As if you're getting, what's the latest game out? Mario Kart World, I think it's called. Whatever the new Switch 2 game is. This is like a new Switch 2 game to me. And it only cost me $5. That's a Rockstar game. Speaking of Rockstar, I also got Smuggler's Run 2. I've never played any of the Smuggler's Runs games. It's supposed to be CIB. What the hell is going on here? Yeah, it is CIB, but for some reason whoever sold me this has a World Destruction League Thunder Tanks game in here, which I think is a ripoff of Battle Tanks. It actually looks pretty cool. I was looking at the manual earlier, like yesterday, I think it was. It does look pretty cool. But since I never hear anybody mention it, I'm assuming Battle Tanks is better. Now, the reason I got this is one, I did get it for cheap. I paid $6 Canadian. Not a bad price considering it trades for $17.25 Canadian. $21.95 sold listing down here, CIB. For $12.48 USD. Very common game. I heard good things about it. That's why I got it. I think I watched a review like 1 or 2 years ago. Some random review. And somebody was playing a 2-player. I think I remember watching somebody play co-op 2-player. And it looked like it might be a fun 2-player game. I don't think it's 4-player. Let me check. No, it's only 2-player. It looked like it might be fun. Somebody was having a good time with it. I threw it on my list of games that I would like to try. Seems like all the Rockstar games are just slow and steady risers. Like, you're not going to find these in the dollar bin. And then they're not going to crash down to $2. Okay, there's no great video game crash coming like that's been predicted for the last 10 years from actual retards who don't know what they're talking about on YouTube. I've been listening to these same people for 10 years. Okay, they've been telling me for 10 years now that all of these games are going back to the dollar bin. The great video game crash is coming. Every year since like 2015, I've heard this, especially for the older consoles, Super Nintendo, NES. I'm still waiting. 2025, I'm still waiting, buddy. And I have a strong suspicion we're going to be waiting a lot longer. Like 25 years, we're going to be waiting at the very least 25 years from today. And that's a subject for another day. I'm not even going to get into that. But yeah, I don't know much about it. It's a racing game. You run missions and run away from cops. I heard it was good. I'm going to try it. Maybe it sucks. I don't know if it stands the test of time. Some games, they were good back in the day and then they don't really hold up. I suspect that that's what's happened here, to be honest with you. But, we'll see. Okay, next up I got Midnight Club Dub Edition. I talked about this in my last PS2 video, except last video I had this one. Midnight Club Dub Edition Remix. Dub Edition is the sequel to Midnight Club 3. Very popular game. Once again, Rockstar game. Do you see a theme here? Rockstar games are doing like really good in value too. You get your money's worth. So this is the updated version of Midnight Club 3. There's no DLC back then, you got to understand. And then Dub Edition Remix was the updated version of Dub Edition. So the DLC of the DLC. Because that's what they did back then. And it was also really smart, actually, because a lot of people probably double dipped. And if they didn't double dip here, guess what? They went and double dipped here. And all it is they add new cars and new music. This one has more soundtracks than even this one. That's the gist of it. Okay, but actually before I show you the chart, I want to let you know I did get screwed by the seller. It was supposed to be CIB. I paid $21, I think. I pay for this 20 or 21. $20. So, the problem is the seller that screwed me on this. Now I know not to trust him in the future because he screwed me on a whole bunch of other games too. I screwed him a little bit too on prices. Like getting this for $20 CIB, I'm basically robbing him because it price charts for more than double that. But at the same time, buddy, it doesn't matter if I'm robbing you. I think he took the manual out. Okay, this is what I think he did. Because he did this with 2 games that I bought off him. They were supposed to be CIB. I think he was pissed off that I basically robbed him. And to like make himself feel better, feel less ripped off, and to screw me over, I think he took the manuals out and he's going to like use them in the future if he ever gets a CB copy. He's like a full-time reseller. Or just sells it on eBay separately. Somebody will buy it. Somebody like me. I need to complete this now. Thanks a lot, buddy. So a little bit pissed off about that, but so I talked about Midnight Club before. It's a competitor to Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2 and a competitor to Need for Speed Most Wanted. Those would have been the popular games around this era in this racing genre, the street racing genre, right? It's its own niche. Not just a racing game, it's a street racing game. And made famous by Need for Speed. So, yeah, back to the chart. The chart looks great. Great lineup. Like, are you seeing a theme with these Rockstar games? They ain't getting any cheaper. They're good, high quality games. They're very sought after. They're common. They're common games. I get it. But common games can still go up in value. And these racing games, people to this day, they don't know that some racing games are worth a lot of money. Back in the day, racing games were in the dollar bin, they were in the $5 bin, and they were just always there. But times have changed. Some of these racing games are very sought after, and they're not your I don't know what the word is. They've become cult classics. In fact, I watch the BR80 show, Brady show. Check his channel out. Shout out to the BR80 show. And he was playing Midnight. He's a younger guy, younger than me. He grew up, PS2 was his jam as a youngin. And Midnight Club 3 was like the game, the racing game. For me, being a little bit older, it was Need for Speed. I mean, even going back as far as Need for Speed 2, that was the racing game. Well, not necessarily Need for Speed 1, although it was popular. Need for Speed 2 is where they started to perfect a little bit of that Need for Speed formula. It was legendary back in the time, but then, of course, Need for Speed Underground was like the icing on the cake. Okay, I'll fly through the rest of these a lot faster, guys. Next up, we got Time Crisis, Crisis Zone. I got this not really knowing if it was in fact a light gun game or not. Got it. I bid on it because the price was right. What did I pay for this? Oh dang! Oh man, I'm going to jail, guys. I paid $7. Okay, now I feel a little bit bad. I didn't know I paid so cheap. That's really cheap, and I think that's from the seller that screwed me over on the CIB games. So he probably got pissed off because I got such a good deal on this. $7 Canadian, price charts for $36.35. So, I screwed him over a little bit, so that does make me not as mad anymore. And I am going to sell this. I looked it up. It is a light gun game. Shockingly, some of these Time Crisis games, again, the charts look good. And I'm pretty sure it's like that for all of them. Even though you need a light gun to play the game, people are still buying it. Like, look at all these sold listings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sold listings in the month of April. People are buying it. I don't know who's buying it, but people with light guns. That's who's buying it. I ain't got no light gun. I ain't got no CRT television. So, I could keep it and wait to get a light gun, but I know that I'm not going to get one anytime soon. and I don't have a CRT television. So I'm going to sell that one. Okay, this one, what did I pay for this? This is SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 featuring ECW. This is a very popular game. A lot of the PS2 wrestling games, in fact, and GameCube, they're very popular games. Do not sleep on these games. They're good, and they're good, solid wrestling games. Like, they're not bad games. In fact, I'll show you some right now. Okay, I don't have the CIB copy yet. I think it's coming from a seller that I did purchase it from. But Day of Reckoning 1, or more importantly, Day of Reckoning number 2 is a very, very good wrestling game for the GameCube. Check that one out. One of the best. Some people might even tell you it is the best. Even better than Here Comes the Pain, PS2. Some people will tell you that. Some people will say that. You know, another slow and steady riser, not really doing much, but price charts for a surprisingly high number, 1763 Canadian dollars, 1276 USD. Mine is CIB, although there's actually a better version of this game that has a bonus DVD. I don't see it in the list, so that might be skewing the numbers here. Let's look at a random one and just see if it comes with the DVD. Because I swear I have a different version that comes with the bonus DVD. It must be the limited edition. This one doesn't have bonus DVD. 12 US dollars. That's 1657 Canadian. I'll put a clip up of... Oh, here it is. Here's one. Bonus disc. Weird. Maybe it was like a day one edition or something. I'll put a clip up of the one that I own. See, look, exclusive bonus disc. Well, the bonus disc must be pretty rare because a lot of these other ones don't even have it. What I think I'm actually going to try to do with this is try to trade it in and just out of curiosity's sake, see what they offer me. I'm going on a road trip coming up soon, and I'm going to visit a whole bunch of retro game stores. And I'm going to bring a whole bunch of games with me just to see what happens. More of an experiment. I'll film it. I'm going to try to see what I can get for trade bait because the local stores near me, they don't give very good prices for trade-in value. They have good prices selling games. I showed you, I went to Black Diamond. Shout out to Black Diamond. They have a website too if anybody wants to buy from them. Black Diamond Antiques and Collectibles or something like that it's called. But I'm going to go on a road trip and I'm going to visit like 2 or 3 places in the same city. See what they all offer me. Because I'm just going to drive around. I'll go to each one, see who gives me the best deal, and then I'll go back to that place. And I just want to show you a comparison for my own curiosity's sake. It'll give everyone an idea of whether it's worth shopping around or does pretty much every store give roughly the same value. Oh, but speaking of that seller that screwed me, here's another bundle he screwed me on. So I got 2 Tony Hawk games, Tony Hawk Project 8, Tony Hawk Underground. Very popular game. Sorry, Tony Hawk Underground is very popular. But I was supposed to also get Hot Shots Golf for the PS2. Yeah, I think it was Hot Shots Golf 3 that I think I was supposed to get as part of the bundle. And I paid $13. And I think I just got completely ripped off because it's missing an entire game that's supposed to be a CIB. It's very cheap. It's not worth much, but that's not the point. Like Canadian dollars are worth $10, and I wanted to play it. I was looking for a PS2 Hot Shots Golf game. Like I like golf games, and I remember playing Hot Shots Golf for PS1, and I always enjoyed that game. So I was looking for something new. Why not go with Hot Shots Golf? Then I get these other 2 Tony Hawk games. I paid $13 for the whole bundle. Sure, it's, not a bad deal. But when you take Hot Shots Golf out, I really don't want them anymore. So these are all, I'm also going to have to trade these in. It's not even CIB. Here's Tony Hawk Project 8. I mean, this thing is worthless. $10 Canadian. That's CIB. Mine's not even CIB. $7.94 USD. I can't sell that on eBay. I won't make any money. They raised the shipping prices. Let's see Tony Hawk Underground. Okay, so here's where the money is. Tony Hawk Underground. Number 1. This is number 1. But once again, mine is not CIB. CIB trades for 1730 USD or 23.91 Canadian. So I'm going to have to trade this one in two. I did have a little bit of history with this game back in the day, so I had a couple of friends that were into the Tony Hawk games. The N64 one was incredibly popular, especially number 2. Tony Hawk 2 was huge, off the chart, guys. You have no idea. You would have had to live in that era to understand just how popular that game was. Tony Hawk 2 brought everybody together. So all the bad kids, let's be honest here, all the bad kids like Tony Hawk. I'm talking the kids that were doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, and dumb kids. The dumbest of the dumb. And I'm sorry to offend you if you're one of those kids that like Tony Hawk. You were probably one of them. But that's the way it was, because that's the way it was when I was there in the trenches. All the kids that owned Tony Hawk and that rented it constantly, they were the dumbest of the dumb. In fact, my one friend, that this was his favorite game. He's lucky he even graduated high school. He had to transfer to the high school that was for literal retards. Okay, in this high school, to give you an example, when I say it's for retards, I'm not kidding. They had a bricklaying course to teach you how to bricklay, become a bricklayer, learn construction, and get marks on that, because those kids weren't going to become lawyers and doctors. This high school was specialized for them. And you know what? It worked, because I knew like half my complex that I grew up in, over half the kids ended up going to that complex because they're a bunch of retards, or going to that school, sorry. And a lot of them became very successful in life doing manual labor. Like bricklayer, you can make good money. You know, those guys make a lot of money. A lot of them became electricians. A lot of them went into construction. Last time I talked to one of them, he's a foreman now. Like, he's one of the top dogs. So they worked their way up. They worked hard. So I'm not bashing them for being dumb, but I mean, the fact is they were dumb. They couldn't pass school. If you can't pass math class, you can't pass English class, you are dumb. Right? And you probably should not even attempt to go into computer science, because you're borderline retarded. But you can make money, and a lot of it, doing other things. And you can be good at other things. Well, those are the kids that like Tony Hawk. And I want to throw out one other thing I did notice. This is the greatest hits version. I got this separately. But the colors, the labels are different colors. Look at that. Greatest hits version is yellow for some reason. And I don't think my case is discolored, because everything else looks good. And this version is orange. But the labels are all orange. Oop, got these upside down. Point is, everything else is the same. Nothing changed. I thought that was pretty neat. Just something to take note of. Okay, lastly, I regret buying this F1 Career Challenge. I don't even remember buying it. I legitimately don't remember. I don't know why I paid $6 for it. I regret that. But you know what? I think I watched a review on it. Like, I have this vague memory, because I bid on it in an auction. I got it for $6. But I have a vague memory of watching a review on it, and apparently it's a really good F1 racer. Like, it's this hidden gem F1 racer. And I think the chart verifies that. And the reason I say that is because it did have a huge bump up. You don't get a bump from $8.49 to 22 US dollars without some big name YouTuber shouting this game out. I don't know who or what did it. I don't know if it was a Metal Jesus or somebody else, but probably I'm just guessing here, probably somebody shouted it out as being a really good racing game for F1 fans. Now, I'm not an F1 racer fan. No, I dabble in the racing genre. I wish I enjoyed it or wish I was better at it than I am, but I'm really not that good. And probably I bid on it thinking, oh, maybe I'll get into it. Maybe I'll play it eventually. You know, it sounded good. Whatever review said it's a really good F1 racer. But then realistically, I get the game and I say, what, man, I ain't never going to play this. Never in my life am I going to play this. F1 racer? I don't think so. It's just not for me. And I've played bad racing games. Super Truck Racing PS2. I've played that. That game is so bad it's good, in my opinion. I had a good time with it. I paid $2 for that game. I got my entertainment worth playing it one time. I got my $2 worth of entertainment. It sits in my collection to this day. Super Truck Racing. Let's look that one up right now. Here it is right here. This game sucks. I'm shocked and disgusted that anyone has ever bought this game. This poor sap paid $13 for it. Oh my gosh. What a nightmare. But you know what? The reason I haven't sold it or attempted to trade it in for $1 or $2 to get my $2 back is because it's so bad it's good. This is a game you play with a buddy. Invite a buddy over, you play some bad games. You order a pizza and you play bad games all night. 8 hours straight bad games. You load it up, you do a 2-player race. You're lucky if you can even complete a couple of laps, but whoever wins wins. And you have a good time. And you laugh about how fun and stupid the game is, how terrible the controls are. But at the same time, you say, hey, well, we are driving big racing trucks. I mean, what'd you expect the controls to be like? They obviously went for some sort of realistic simulation here. Terrible game. You couldn't pay me to play this again. Unless you bring some pizza. Crack open a root beer. A&W root beer. Right? So, yeah, I'm going to be trying to trade this in with my long list of trade bait. And I'm going to see if I can get my money back. If I'm lucky, I'll get more than my money back. Maybe $7. I mean, I'll be happy. If I get $7 for that, I will be ecstatic. I'm not happy with this one. Either that or I'm going to sell it. Like, either way, the game's getting sold. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. I am trying to get to over 9,000 subscribers, on my way to collecting over 9,000 retro video games. And yes, if we get to over 9,000 subscribers, I will be doing a 6-hour special. 6-hour over 9,000 subscriber special, where I will talk about every single Super Nintendo game in my collection. And if there's time, I'll even play some games as well. Show some footage of the games. I'll play the games. I mean, we got 6 hours to cover. Might have to split that up into multiple videos because actually, come to think of it, my hard drive literally isn't even big enough to hold a video that big. I got like 60 gigs left on this thing, so I can only store one video at a time on my hard drive. And then I put all the videos that go onto an external hard drive because that's how I free up space to make the next video. So yeah, I have to break that thing up, but it could be a 6-episode special. Guys, I do have a Patreon, link in the description below. I do post exclusive content, and I got a new episode coming out soon. And an exclusive episode that you can watch right now, where I showed you a hidden gem, one of those Super Nintendo, very expensive Super Nintendo game. Hell, I'll just tell you, it was Shien's Revenge. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but that's how I've been saying it. Shien's Revenge. Great little gem. Cool game, very expensive, very rare.